Welcome to this Football Manager 2016 video with a twist. I have holidayed 30 years into the future to 2045 to see what the football world is like in the future. So this is basically an experiment video. For those of you that have watched my experiment videos, you know what they're all about. For those of you that are new to the channel, you won't. Basically what I do generally is I use the Football Manager editor to alter things on the game, holiday into the future to see what sort of impact those changes have. Now this is the beta game at the moment, at the time of recording, so I don't have the editor. So I'm just doing this instead. I've just done a simple simulation basically into the future, and we're going to have a look around. Now there will be some videos coming out over the coming days about Football Manager Wonder Kids in the future, just to see how they develop on the game. So check out those as and when they come out. But I hope you found this one interesting. I'm just going to have a browse around. As you can see here on the screen, we've got the World Cup history up to basically present day. 2042 is the latest one that we've had. In this video though, I will be having a look at a few other things just out of interest. Hopefully this will be interesting. If you find it interesting, please hit that like button, it'd be much appreciated. And I have in fact put a download link to this save from 2045 in the description below, so you can play on this save from this point if you wish. I know I tweeted a few things out about the year 2030 the other day. I showed Raheem Sterling get an insane number of caps. This was actually on a different save that I holidayed though. So this one is a completely new one. None of you have seen any of this yet. So perhaps download the save, have a play around, have a look yourself if you're interested, and yeah, be much appreciated if you hit that like button and leave your thoughts in the comments section below about anything I could do perhaps with this save. Perhaps I could play my own save on this game, or maybe you'd want me to look in detail at some other things. Now I do want to holiday even further into the future. I know someone holidayed 1,000 years on FM 2015. I'm not quite sure my computer is up to that. But if I get a new computer, I may well be doing something along those lines at some point. So as you can see here, these are the World Cup winners. We saw Spain win it once again in 2018, beating Croatia in the final. France won it in 2022, beating Serbia. We saw the hosts change. It's Canada for the 2022 World Cup. That's a feature on FM16. Clubs can protest against fixtures. For example, the Qatar World Cup was going to be in winter. All the clubs protested and it was moved to Canada. Russia won the 2026 World Cup against Romania. That's an interesting final. That was played in USA. And France once again won it in 2030, beating Holland in the final. Holland are very unlucky at losing finals, aren't they? But you'll see in a minute that they did have some success. That one was played in England. Then Ukraine beat Portugal in the Japanese World Cup. Holland beat Romania. Romania get into the second final in Canada once again. And then Holland, for the second time in a row, beating rivals Belgium. Brazil finished third twice. They haven't won the World Cup since 2002, which is pretty crazy. In fact, it's only European teams that have won the World Cup on this particular save, strangely enough. Argentina not featuring at all. Really odd that actually. So these are the current world rankings. Spain are top, Argentina second despite not featuring very highly at all in the last few World Cups. France third, Brazil fourth, and Holland, who have won 2 World Cups in a row, are fifth. I don't know if there's any interesting stories in here. We can see Australia pretty high up in 12th place, Tunisia 14th, but there's nothing crazy, I don't think. We haven't got, Uzbekistan are very high in 33rd. I think that's pretty shocking actually, being that high. I wonder who's bottom. Will it still be San Marino? Let's have a look. Andorra bottom, 209th. San Marino, 196th. That's not too bad for them, to be fair. So this is the European Football Championship up to 2044. Ukraine won it in 2016, beating France. That is a strange one. Then Holland beat Austria in the 2020 Euros. France beat Germany in 2024. Serbia won it in 2028. Spain beat Belgium. Germany beat Sweden. France beat Portugal, and Spain beat France. There's 2 shocks there. Ukraine and Serbia winning the Euros. That's quite unlikely. One thing you may have spotted, no England featuring at all. On probably the last few football managers, England generally end up dominating or winning 2 or 3 World Cups and a few European Championships. So some of you may be happy about that they're not featuring heavily. Now I'm going to look at England because I know a large percentage of you that watch my videos are English people, although the range of countries that you guys are from that watch my videos seems to be ever increasing. So thank you everyone, wherever you are in the world, for watching my videos. It's amazing. England are currently 13th in the world and their manager is Suso. That is really bizarre. I did tweet out on my other save that I holidayed to 2030 that Sergei Rebrov was in charge of England, so that's pretty random. Let's just have a look at the manager history for England out of interest. So Roy Hodgson left after the 2016 Euros, and Roberto Martinez came in for almost 10 years. Then Laudrup came in for almost 3 years. Andre Villas-Boas was there for almost 11 years before Karim Rekic was in charge for almost 2 years. And Suso's been here for almost 3 years now. Really random stuff. I'm just going to have a quick look at the national team. Obviously, all the players will be regens now, but I just want to have a look at the top player actually. AJ Johnston plays for Manchester City and has 74 caps and 54 goals at the age of 35, finishing 20, off the ball 20. He's a pretty ridiculous striker, I must say. Okay, so the next sensible thing to look at is probably the Champions League. That will interest a lot of you, I'm sure. So we've had many Champions Leagues, I guess 30 or so in total since the start of the game. So England dominated the first couple, with Arsenal and Man City winning. For Porto, Benfica, 2 Portuguese teams, Real Madrid and then Barcelona. It seems to be cycles. We've got Arsenal again, Chelsea featuring twice. Are there any crazy winners in there? We've got Man City winning it a couple times, Porto, Roma, Benfica. Porto featuring heavily as a Benfica. Wow, Porto have won it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Benfica have won it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and Sporting have won it as well twice. What is going on? Benfica, look at how many finals they've got to. This is really bizarre. How have they done so well? Benfica have pretty much got to nearly every single final. Their reputation's up to 4.5 stars. They're rich. Crazy stuff. I don't even have the Portuguese Premier League loaded properly, but you can see the winners here. I know there's a lot of Portuguese viewers watching my videos, so I'm sure you're pretty happy to see the domination of Portuguese teams in Europe. Predictably so, it's mainly Porto and Benfica winning the league. Sporting have won it once. Braga have finished 3rd once, but it is real domination from the big 3 in Portugal. But they have dominated Europe. The last Champions League, 3 Champions Leagues, so no Portuguese team featuring at all. We've got Man City beating Shakhtar to get into a final. That's good for them. PSG winning against Arsenal and Man United finally winning. They won it twice actually, so a very quiet spell for them up until 2013, 2040 in fact, when they won the Champions League. Interesting stuff there. This is the Euro Cup then, so let's have a look at the winners. We can see Monaco won the first one before Barcelona won 2017's competition, so they must have got knocked out in the group stage of the Champions League before dropping down. Man United featuring 3 times on this list. Are there any ridiculous winners on here that you wouldn't expect? Nothing major, really. Dynamo winning it against Roma in 2044. That's great for them. Real Madrid have won it in 2034. Chelsea as well featuring it. Braga won it against Juventus, but nothing unexpected in there. So this is the English Premier League. Newcastle won it in 2030. Fulham won it in 2039 and Sunderland won it in 2040. 3 unexpected winners in there, which is fantastic to see, I must say, because it's obviously generally dominated by Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, occasionally Liverpool as well, but Liverpool don't feature at all there. I don't think they've even finished in the top 3. I might be wrong, I may have missed someone out there, but Fulham have done particularly well lately, as have Sunderland. Let's just have a look at the last Premier League that we can see. So let's just go to this. Top were Man City. Fulham finished 2nd. Relegated Middlesbrough, Reading and Brighton. Anyone in that you wouldn't expect to be. Leeds are back in the top division, as are Sheffield Wednesday, and Brentford are up there as well, but there's not a huge amount of difference, to be fair, in the top teams in this division. We're missing the likes of West Ham in there. So I don't know, let's just go back a few years just to see what's happened over the recent years. I will go down the English divisions as well, just to look a bit more in detail at the English divisions for you guys that are interested. I'm going to have a quick look at the records to see if anyone has broken the record. Man United has still won it the most times, 23 times. Highest attendance, Tottenham, 90,000. I probably suspect that's at Wembley. I reckon Tottenham probably moved to Wembley whilst they had a new stadium built. Biggest win still Man United against Ipswich in 1995. Highest average attendance was Man City, 78,210, so their stadium's been increased as well. You can just have a look at a few records if you're interested. Andy Cole, still the top goal scoring record there. So let's go down the divisions just to have a quick look. I haven't loaded them properly, but you can see who won the league, was runner-up, and who was the playoff winners. So there you go, Swansea and Nottingham Forest and West Brom going up this season. League One, there you go. If you want to pause the video and have a look, West Ham won it in 2042-43, relegated all the way down to there. That's not good. Those of you that know I'm a West Ham fan, it's not great. And this is League Two. Rochdale, Southend and Luton going up in the most recent season. And Conference, or National League as it's called now, you can have a look there. National League North and National League South. Next up, the FA Cup then. Any unusual winners in the last 30 years? Let's go up the list. We saw Watford win it in 2026, Reading in 2030, West Brom winning it, QPR, Fulham have won it 3 times, and Huddersfield winning it in 2044 against Reading. That is a different sort of final to see as well. But still mainly dominated by the teams you'd expect. Man United winning it quite a few times there. League Cup then, Capital One Cup, still sponsored by Capital One. The last 30 years, let's see, look at the winners. Tottenham featuring there a few times, Newcastle a couple of times as well. Nothing outlandish there. Watford winning it in 2035, but nothing massively shocking. Reading 2024 as well. You'd expect something a bit more of a shock in the League Cup. Usually when you holiday into the future there's a few different interesting things in there, but there's nothing particularly interesting there. So I haven't loaded lots of divisions simply because it would take far too long to holiday into the future. So I've just allowed me to view certain divisions. So with La Liga, we've got very interesting the fact that Barcelona and Real Madrid haven't dominated for the last few years. Valencia featuring a few times, Celta have won it, and Seville won it this year. But as expected, FC Barcelona and Real Madrid still featuring heavily, but not every single season, which I have seen happen on previous versions of the game. Here we have the German First Division, the most recent season. I'm not sure why I loaded the German league, but not the Spanish league. I'm pretty sure I did put the Spanish league in. For whatever reason, it's not loaded properly. Never mind. These are the recent winners of the German First Division. As you can see, we've got Bayern featuring heavily, but Leverkusen also featuring quite heavily. Schalke have won 3 of the last 6. Dortmund have only won it 3 times in those 30 years. If you want to download the save file and play with someone like Barcelona, then you'll have to load up the Spanish league, which you can do nowadays on Football Manager, and then the cut-off I think is the end of June, so you've not got long to wait. You can just holiday a month and load up the Spanish or the Italian league and play with your chosen team. So this is Serie A. Juventus dominated the first few years as expected, but have not won the league since 2033. Quite sporadic as well their wins since the start of the game. Roma have dominated heavily. Napoli have done very well in recent years as well. Lazio did very well in the middle section of this save. This is Ligue 1. PSG have completely dominated. They've won it every year apart from in 2033 and 2040 where Monaco managed to get in there. Lyon have featured second a few times, but PSG and Monaco are the 2 teams to beat. This is the most dominant we've seen out of any team. I'm going to be doing some individual player videos from this save very soon, so I don't want to completely spoil the surprise in terms of who won World Player of the Year. I'm just going to show you quickly so you can have kind of a quick sneak preview. But let's look at the most recent ones because they're not real players. I'm going to be let's just have a look at some of the most recent winner, Flavio Vaz, a Portuguese player, defensive midfielder, unusual for a defensive midfielder to win it. And then second place was a Belgian, another defensive midfielder for Man City, who actually looks a bit better than the previous player. And then lastly, another central midfielder, a Spaniard this time, who's pretty good. But it's strange to have three central midfielders in the top three there. Top last year was a striker though, so let's have a look at him. He looks amazing, Anderson Henrique. There's going to be some really good regens on here, so maybe I could do a video where I find the best regens possibly. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So many different opportunities with this sort of save. Let's just have a quick look at some club statistics. The top three teams in the world, PSG, Benfica and then Porto. So the Portuguese teams are dominating. Sporting is up there as well. We've got a Colombian team which has suddenly had a huge boost in reputation. That is bizarre. It must be some sort of bug, because they've gone from unknown to 4.5 star. Same with a couple of Chile teams as well. I'm not really sure what has happened there. But where are the English teams? The best one is Man United. So this is club reputation, but I'm interested to see finances as well. Arsenal, who typically are always top of this list at this point, are top with 1.21 billion. Then Man City, Chelsea, Man United. So despite the fact that the four richest teams are English teams, they don't feature that high up on the reputation list for some reason. For some reason, the world has fallen in love with Portuguese football. Maybe some sort of strange TV deal has come about with Portuguese football just dominating the world scene, and everyone's watching Portuguese football, and that's why the reputation's gone up, possibly. But it is quite odd what has happened. Porto down in 10th place. Benfica and Sporting are actually above them. It really is quite odd what has happened there. Probably the most interesting thing we've seen. Seoul are 28th in the world with finances. You may want to pause and have a look to see if there's anything crazy in there, and let me know in the comments section below. In terms of competitions, the Premier Division, English Premier League, is top of the list. The Portuguese one is third, so it is a great competition reputation-wise, and that's why the clubs have also been boosted, I guess. I think we'll end today's video here. I hope you found it interesting. Please hit the like button if you did. Like I said, if there's any suggestions that I could possibly do with this save myself, perhaps playing on the game, or some more experiment videos involving this save, then let me know, and I'm happy to give them a go. But if you did find it interesting, like I said, hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you very soon.